Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Off My Chest, and it's by user No Dinner Invite. I keep meeting my birth mom, but she doesn't know it's me. She had me when she was 14, and I, 24 male, was given up for adoption. My parents told me about her growing up. I still have the letter she wrote me that she asked if they could give it to me if they wanted. It's crazy reading it sometimes and knowing it was a literal child who wrote it saying she's sorry she couldn't be my mommy, but she hopes I'm happy. She was open to having contact, but we moved for my dad's job when I was 11, and then it seemed impossible to find her. But luckily, I did. She's working at this small restaurant, and I keep going, but she doesn't know it's me. We talk sometimes, and she seems like a nice lady. Sometimes when she says something like, "Do you want a refill, honey?" or uses another term like that, I want to tell her. I don't know why it makes me nervous. We talk sometimes and she seems really genuine. If it's not super busy, she's more open to talking about random stuff. I literally drive 2 hours to go eat at this place just to see her. And it's like she knows me already because I'm there once or 2 times a week for the past 3 months. So she always says hi with a big smile, but man, if she only knew. Well, since this is an Off My Chest post, OP isn't asking for any advice or any judgment. So let's go ahead and continue with the community comments to see what they said to OP, and then I've curated some responses from OP to give you guys more context. So let's move on. But like the movie says, tell her, please. I know it's difficult, but you say you want to. My mom gave up her first son through a closed adoption and searched for him for 30 years. It was heartbreaking when he finally found her and turned out to not be a great person. You've already met her, and you know that the two of you get along. I don't know either of you, but knowing what my mom went through, I doubt that a day goes by that she doesn't wonder where you are. Pilot Mac's mom says, I used to long for my daughter that was adopted. I would visit a neighborhood park, watching all the children to see if I might recognize something in a child that would tell me was mine. Years later, when my daughter was older, I sought her out. We have had a wonderful relationship for the last 15 years. She was at that park. Found out she grew up 5 miles from me. She could be craving reconnection as much as I did. I wish you a fulfilled journey and much love. South Ad 8896 says, she didn't give you up out of spite. It's a child who loved you. Please tell her, because I think for her this would be the biggest joy in her life. Giving up a baby while she leaves you a letter to meet? Hun, she loves you. 14 or 80, a mother's love doesn't change. Otherwise, she would have erased any way to contact her. It won't surprise me you're the biggest hole left in her heart, because a mother is never whole when she lost a child who she loves. If you're too scared, write a letter about yourself with a phone number or an email, or leave a baby photo she would recognize with your name and phone number in an envelope with her name on it. Then you don't have to say, I'm your son. But take the step, because regret is more painful than the present, and every moment counts. The present is the only thing you can change. You deserve her, and she most definitely deserves you. Additional information from OP's comments. She was really young, and she made the best decision for me. My parents even told me they were worried she might change her mind because after I was born, she asked if she could have a half-hour alone with me. But after the time was up, she told them to take care of me. I remember how super immature I was at 14, so for her to make that adult choice, then also struggle to do it after I was born, I know it came from a place of love. As an adopted kid, I'll always be grateful that my birth mom gave me the opportunity to be raised by my parents. I've had a great life, and that's thanks to her sacrifice. I'll always be grateful for my parents. It wasn't some big secret growing up that I was adopted. They always talked about it and my birth mom, so it'd feel normal to me. Then, when I was older, they were really supportive of me finding her, and it's what I want. And I did. I found out about her thanks to a personal investigator that my parents helped me pay so I could find her. I grew up in a big city and she has a common name, so it was hard even just scrolling on Facebook. And also thought she might have moved too, so it would have been even harder to find her. So I got the info of where she was working. She only knows my first name, and it's a pretty common one, but what might have given it away was also my last name, so that's why I've been paying cash only. It's hard. I don't know why I can't tell her. Every time I'm on my way, I'm thinking, okay, this time I'm gonna tell her. It feels easier talking to her without the heavy emotional stuff, but at the same time, I want her to know I'm her son. Alright, so everybody wants OP to tell her, and OP gave us a lot more information regarding the whole background here. So I'm pretty sure right now you really want to know, what did OP do? Well, stick with me, because the update is coming up right now. Well, I did it. I told her. And yeah, it was pretty heavy. My heart was even beating fast. I kept trying to think about how to tell her. Many of the comments on my last post here mentioned writing her a letter, just how she wrote a letter for me. Originally, that was the plan, but for me, it felt like I needed to say it. Oh, really quick, I want to say thanks to everyone for their love and support. Mostly to all the birth parents out there who shared their stories with me. That's what really helped push me to have that courage to confront her. It meant so much, so thanks. I did wait for her to be done with her shift, and that was when they were closing the restaurant already, and waited in the parking lot. We said hi when she saw me first, but then I told her there was something serious that she needed to know. First, I told her sorry for keeping it from her for this long. She didn't react until I actually pulled out her letter, and she started bawling from there, like screaming and crying at the same time, and didn't even have to finish the whole "I'm your son" speech. She just saw it and knew. It was crazy. The next thing I know, she's hugging me instantly, but then she pulled back and asked if it's okay to hug me. Of course it is, and we're just there hugging and crying in the parking lot. It hit her hard though. Her legs gave out for a second, so I had to actually hold her up while she's still hugging me for a minute. What really got me was her saying to me, "Look how big you got." Also, hearing her cry made me cry too. She went back to open the restaurant up. She wouldn't take no for an answer. We had coffee, ate a slice of their pie inside, and talked. So much stuff that we talked about. She told me the second time I came to the restaurant, she got a feeling, but for her, it was hard to believe it was me. So that feeling she had was pushed way down. Because she told me for years after I was adopted, she saw kids that would be my age and used to think they were me. Then she would be crying in public. It effed with her mind a lot and made her depressed, so she didn't want to do the same when she saw me, getting her hopes up like that. She says I look so much like my biological dad when he was younger though. We talked about him too. They stayed in contact with each other in case I ever reached out to one of them, so it would be easier to contact the other. I didn't have hope about finding my biological dad since he was never mentioned, so I'm glad they both planned for this future scenario. She told me about how they wanted to keep me, especially my biological dad. He didn't want me to be adopted, but he knew they had to because they were just kids. It took him a long time to get past it after I was born, she told me. That's why he didn't leave anything, because he didn't want to believe he might not see me again. We talked for hours, till almost 2 in the morning. They closed at 11. She just wanted to know everything about me, but her main thing was, am I happy? Were my parents good to me? Did I have a happy childhood? And I did. I told her thank you for helping to give me this life. We both cried again. She cried the most. Everything was very emotional for her. Sometimes she would look really happy, but then get sad again. After my 18th birthday, she was hoping I would find her. That's why she stayed in the same city. But since I didn't, she always thought maybe I resented her, wasn't told I'm adopted, or maybe had decided it was better to not have her around. It made me feel bad for not telling her sooner. She told me it's not my fault, and I did right going at my own pace. Honestly, she's so sweet. The way she kept looking at me with the biggest smile made me emotional sometimes. Makes you think, how can someone who's been a total stranger your whole life look at you with so much love? It's wild. We learned so much about each other. She asked me if we could have dinner soon to keep talking, and if at some point in the future, if I'm interested to come over to her house so I can meet her husband. That all sounded really great. Regarding my bio dad, she asked me if I wanted her to let him know. We don't have to meet right away if I don't want to, but just so he's aware. He's been wanting to see me for a long time. I told her to tell him, and we can meet up soon. My first actual meeting with her had me really pumped, so I thought, why not? I want to see him too. I hope meeting him goes well. My parents were happy I made contact with her. They still want me to ask at some point if we could all get together sometime, just cause they'd like to meet my bio parents to say thanks again. Anyway, we exchanged numbers. After I left, she sent a text thanking me for giving her this gift that she didn't know if it would ever come. My girlfriend came over and she hugged me while I cried. I wasn't sad, by the way. These were happy tears. Everything went better than I expected. There was still emotionally heavy stuff, but I'm still glad that we got to open up to each other. Wow, Opie, this story was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. You know, after reading so many weird family stories where parents are total jerks, reading a story like yours, where your bio parents, both of them, really wanted you to be with them and love you, but they understood they couldn't keep you, so they gave you the best opportunity to be loved by another couple who also wanted you and sound amazing, well, that's just awesome. So I hope it all goes well meeting your bio dad, OP, and thanks so much again for sharing. Take care, and now let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user Major F Up. Am I the a-hole for taking my nephew back to my sister's husband after she left him with me? My sister had her baby 6 months ago, and this morning she brought him to my apartment. It was 10 AM and I, 19 male, was half asleep. She asked me if I could watch him really quick cause she had some stuff to do and to call her if I needed anything. He was asleep, so I said okay, but he woke up 20 minutes later crying. I gave him his bottle and he was calm for a bit, but he started crying again. I don't know what to do with babies, so I called my sister. She says she is still stuck running errands, but she'll try to be here soon. When I asked her if Ted, her husband, could come to get him, she said to leave him alone cause he's busy with work at the house. Literally an hour later and he's still screaming his head off. I tried looking up how to calm him down, so there I am, rocking him, trying to play on the floor or showing him my phone, but nothing. He wasn't having it. I called my sister 2 more times. The first time she tells me to give him his bottle, which I already did, and says she'll be here soon. The second time she tells me to relax and is almost done. I called her again 40 minutes later, but this time it goes to voicemail. Then I started to smell something bad, and it was because my nephew crapped in his diaper. The smell was awful, and I said hell no, cause I do not have it in me to change a crappy diaper, and nothing I did was making him to stop crying. He was red in the face from crying all this time. I texted my sister telling her I was gonna take him to their house, but didn't get a reply. Ted was confused when I got there. I told him my sister said she had some stuff to do and left him with me, but my nephew wouldn't stop crying. He has a dirty diaper and my sister won't answer me. Guys, he was so pissed off. He took my nephew and thanked me for bringing him back. That was it, and when I got back home, my sister was calling me. She was flipping out asking why the F I took the baby back to their house when she told me not to. She was angry because she told Ted she was taking my nephew to her friend's house to have breakfast so her friend could see him, and now he's mad at her because obviously she didn't do that. Later, my parents told me that my sister and Ted are in the middle of a huge fight and I should have stayed out of it and babysat my nephew. I don't know what's going on. All I know is that Ted is not talking to her. My sister called me a couple of times to tell me stuff, and she can't believe I was such a crap brother that I couldn't do one simple favor for her when she needed it. Now, I'm feeling bad and I don't know if I should have done something differently. Was I an a-hole for taking my nephew back instead of waiting for her to show up? No, OP, you are not the a-hole. It is your sister who is the entire a-hole in this whole situation. Now, from all the information you give us, I'm just gonna assume that your sister's having an affair and used you to cover it up. Now, of course, since that blew up in her face, she's now blaming you, when she should actually be blaming herself for cheating on her husband 6 months after her baby was born. If I was Ted, I'd be taking a DNA test really quickly. And your parents are acting like idiots too, basically telling you that you should have helped your sister have an affair. That's a great lesson right there, folks. Let's enable the cheater just cause she's family. But anyways, OP, no, you're not the a-hole, your sister is, and your parents are also being a-holes. So what do you guys think? What is your judgment in this situation, or what would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Once Limbone says, not the a-hole. I think it's hilarious how precious it is, how stupid, I mean stubborn your sister is about all of this. Instead of accepting she's in the wrong and apologizing to you first off, she's now making you the actual cause of why they're having a huge fight. Why she got caught lying. I'm sure the reason they're fighting even more so is because she probably still hasn't owned up to her lies to the hubby and is still pointing fingers. Your sister dragged you and your nephew into this while you were both asleep. Your nephew took a crap cause he knows mom wasn't around. Babies know. Lol, he said, "You're out messing again, mom. You're paying for it this time." Definitely not the a-hole, mate. Sweet Little Angel says, not the a-hole. First of all, your sister's husband is the father, not you, so he should be allowed to be equally responsible for his child, unless he's abusive. Did your sister offer to pay you or any sort of compensation for babysitting your nephew? Second, as neither your sister nor your parents explained to you beforehand that there's some problems between your sister and her husband, it shouldn't be your fault for doing the right thing by contacting the actual parent of your nephew if the other is not co-parenting with the person looking after their child. Third, what was your sister doing while she was out, and why did your sister lie about taking your nephew to her friend's house? Something is suspicious here, and I bet her husband is innocent in all of this. Terrorbear666 says, not the a-hole. I want an update on this one though. Sister is shady as F and I want to know what the whole deal was. OP, you did the right thing in contacting your sister when the baby wouldn't calm down and then bringing the baby home to his dad when you couldn't cope. I've changed a lot of crappy diapers in my day, back when I was the neighborhood babysitters to babies as young as 1 week old and up back in my teens, but I couldn't do it now. I'd barf. I'm a middle-aged, child-free woman now, so I don't blame you one bit for not wanting to change your nephew's diapers after he had a poop. Additional information from OP's comments. My sister said it would be like half-hour top, and she said he just fell asleep, so figured he'd be waking up or wouldn't be fuzzy by the time she got back. She said to call her if anything, so I thought that meant she would come back if something was up. She did give me extra wipes and diapers, but I have a really weak stomach, and the longest I've watched him is 15 minutes once when we were at my parents' and they were going to the store. I've never changed his diaper ever, and I've literally almost thrown up the times I've seen my sister changing his diaper at my parents'. That's not for me, which is why I won't be having kids. That's why I took off as soon as he had a dirty diaper. And also, it was 15 minutes about the time it took me to drive to their place. He wasn't with a dirty diaper the whole time. I knew he did because he made a face and then came the stink. So that's when I drove back. I imagine at that age, I wouldn't even remember I crapped myself. Alright, well, the community agrees not the a-hole, and he gave us some context as to why he doesn't want to change a diaper. And on that note, I personally have the belief that if it's not my kid, it's not my diaper to change. I've got 2 kids, so I've changed a lot of crappy diapers, and I still stand by that. I'm never going to change another kid's diapers, and I would never ask anybody to change my kid's diapers. But anyways, too much talking about diapers. Let's move on with the update to see what happened next. I was debating on whether I should even say anything, but I mean, y'all were having ideas before, and it's not like anyone in my family knows about Reddit anyways, so I thought, F it. Since most of y'all wanted an update, here we go. Crap has been pretty messed up. I don't have too many details on what went down, because all of this I heard from my parents, but basically, your guesses were right. I don't know for how long or what, but she definitely wasn't going to see who she told Ted she was. I can't believe she would do this to her husband. Ted's a good guy and everything, so that's an effed up thing to do to him. It's not looking good, and Ted is staying at his mom's and only coming to pick up my nephew from my parents' house during the day after my sister drops him off there. My parents did apologize to me though. They didn't know what she was up to, and now my dad is the one that is most mad at her. Ted's pretty tight with our family, and my sister is not talking to anyone right now. I don't know why she'd do this, but it's still disappointing to know she was doing that crap. It's hard not to feel like I effed crap up, especially when she sent me a long-ass text the other day on how their lives are ruined and my nephew won't have a stable home after this, so she hopes I'm happy for stirring this up instead of giving her a break. That hit me, but you know what? That's not my guilt to carry, and that's her own fault. She hasn't talked to me at all since, so it's hard not to feel like that relationship is ruined now. But yeah, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. That's all the update I got right now. Everyone wanted to know, and to be honest, I wanted to know too. Crap, I didn't think this was all gonna come out. It's crazy. Thanks y'all for being there explaining why I wasn't the a-hole. Also, offering your advice on how to deal with it mentally when crap hit the fan. Made it a lot easier dealing with stuff, just reminding myself this was all on her. Came back sometimes to read some of the comments whenever I feel it coming down on me, so for sure it's helped. And for the commenters that were weirdly too fixated on the not wanting to change a diaper, like it's a life skill everyone should know, I'm still not gonna. Well, if you can, then cool, you can change a crappy diaper. Not having kids anyways and not babysitting again after this. Lesson learned. Well, Opie, it sucks that your sister is blaming you for her actions, but then again, whatever, she's an idiot. Anyways, you seem to be okay, so that's good. I just feel bad for your nephew and of course for Ted. That's gotta suck. In any case, all the best to you, Opie. Thank you for sharing and take care. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.